and welcome to this edition of the Farming Legacy Show. And today we're on Iowa Plains, or some people might say the Plains of Iowa, but the name of the map is Iowa Plains. And this is a map that came out on 22. I had a long save on it and played a long while on it. In fact, played through two updates that came out on it, if I remember correctly. Anyway, this is the 25 version, FS25 version of it. Let me run over here and show you across the road first now, because I've added some stuff that was not. I've taken some stuff away, and some things I've added. I added this multi buy point here. I put down this multi-fruit silo, put animal feed and stuff that a regular silo won't hold. But this is, and they had and I added this manure pit here. That's the same manure pit I have on some other saves. And you're probably wondering why I'm doing vintage farming. Because I'm taking a break from that. I'll go back to it. I hadn't forgot. But I just want to start a series on Iowa Plains. But along the road out here, on both sides, here and across the road there, they had put white picket fence. I'm not big on fencing. It kind of looked like that fence right there. But I really didn't like it, so I took it down. Anyway, here's our cow barn, and it did it a little different. On 22, when you came through here, you was already, I think, if I remember, well, no, there was a double gate over here. It was right here. Had a double gate here that you went in and you was in the pen. Now, the double gate is right here. Well, I stopped dancing around here. I want to show you something else. This is a nice barn. You can see it holds up to 374 animals. There's 60 already in here. Well, I hit the wrong button. You can go in this way too, if you need to get a big truck in here. Here's your milk, and your slurry is right back here. Here's another door. I don't know if these doors you can't open, but them others you can. That's your slurry pit, by the way. Now, let me go around the other side over here. When you start on this, if you use the starting farm, there was another little small shed that went right here, and it really wasn't big enough to store anything in, so I sold it. But this shed was here, and I've got my sloughing equipment, and I'll show you why I need that. You'll need that. This is my loader wagon. It's a Colossal Titan Super Collector. And this is the thing I may have told you, Tomahawk, that you grind pig food with. I say feed, I meant food. Anyway, I've already ground some. And that's what I'm going to do with that corn. I got a field of, let me show you the map. You start with field 2, the same 3 fields you did on 22. This field had wheat. I've already harvested that. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm getting ready to harvest this corn. And this field's got alfalfa in it, as I showed. Let me show you. Yeah, there's the alfalfa. And it is, when it's ready to harvest, it's tall. Trust me. But let me go back now to the map and go back to, let's come out right here. All right. I've already put the weed in the bin, and that feels ready to be planted again over there. And I've already replanted the first harvest of alfalfa. That's why I was here, yeah. And that's what I've been feeding the cows. You can't, it goes in as hay, but I got alfalfa. See, it says, still got 157,000. And that's alfalfa hay, by the way, 970, dried alfalfa, which is the same thing as alfalfa hay. But it doesn't show up on the menu over here in the cow pen. I meant to show before I left here how many cows, what there were. Let me go in here to this thing here. All right, now you see where it says hay down there, 80%. You look in the list, you don't see no alfalfa on there, but that's where it shows up if you choose to use it as animal food. It's going to show up under hay. And but you see how many cows I have? I have 20-month old, and they're all 20% pregnant. Actually, I have 40 because I have 20 Holstein and 20 brown Swiss, and then they're fully grown. And then I have 40 full-grown ones and 20 half-grown, or not quite half, 8-month-old ones. So in their dairy cows, that's what you start with. I haven't changed them. I kind of thinking I'm gonna may let them younger ones grow up, then may let the other ones reproduce, or maybe before they reproduce, go ahead and sell them and switch over to beef cattle. Meanwhile, down here in this ginormous building now, where I'm from, this is not how they're starting to do this in the part of the country I'm in now. But look what that says down the bottom right corner. It holds 1,600. Already 250 head in here. I hit the wrong button again, y'all. Look, here's your hog pen. And these hogs are, I'll show you in a minute. Let me come back out of here. They are, well, let's go this route. There we go. They are all 6 months old. And they're almost through puberty, so that means they'll be ready to reproduce in another month. In November, they'll be ready. So I got 250 head of those kind of hogs. But let me tell you something about this shed. Let me go into landscape view to see it. Look at the top of this. How many solar panels is on this thing? You will get a buttload of money when you fast forward the first time, and every time from 1 month to the other, you're going to get crap ton of money. Anywhere from $10,000 to $16,000. I've gotten 10, and then had a friend of mine that's playing on this map. He got 16,000. So just be aware. I haven't got rid of this. To me, I still say this is like chicken pen hog farming is what it reminds me of. Chicken house hog farming. They need to be out on the dirt, really, but because clean animals ain't always healthy. But for some reason, the agriculture thinks that's what it should. A clean animal's healthy. No, that ain't always true. Anyway, so enough said about that. Let's go back across here to the farmyard, and I put a power washer and a thing over here to service your vehicles. But that's for this, and a fuel tank. That's for this farmyard. This yard over here, there was already a service area. You remember on 22, you had one. It was in this red barn here. This was off a red barn. Was originally, we had it on Elm Creek. Remember, you could go down under there, yeah. But you don't have to pull, even though the icon is right there. You don't have to pull in there. Just pull up out here where this yellow line is, and it's going to pick it up, whatever you want to service. And I put a power washer in there. And here's the same shed. You could open or close the garage on them. That's the only two starting vehicles that I still have, and that is these two Case tractors. And I've got them all the way, horsepower wise, maximum all the way. You start with that the smallest in-game Case combine. Let me show you. That one right there, the 7150. That's what you start with in a corn head. But yet you have a corn head and a wheat head. You had both. But I decided on that wheat field, I'm going to try something, well, not different, but try something I have done it before, but not been consistent with it. And that is sloughing. And that is the head right there that you actually put on front of a tractor. And we did that in this field across here. I did it rather in this field. And see, it's plowed up now. But let's go to right. And then once I slaughtered it, that windrow, that loader wagon you saw in that shed across the road over yonder, next to the cow pen, I picked it up with that, brought it here to this thing, and let me show you. Well, I put the wheat in there, and you see how much straw came out of it, 192,743 out of that wheat. It was just shy of 200,000 liters. And then once it all separated, I had 59,107 liters of wheat. So I brought it here, and let me show you now how much is left out of that. And this is, we got here a little bit of, earlier this week maybe, or last week, we got an update, and we got some ag stuff that was in game. Well, this is the same silos, but let me go into where you can see them up above. Same silos, this right here. Same silos, ag, and all that came out that we got as in game, but Celabuki, he modded this map. They reconfigured the thing and made it and put a dryer, a nice dryer. Let's show you. This is the dryer right here. And look at the crops that it dries. It dries barley, canola, oats, soybean. Wait a minute, nope. I'm at the wrong. Okay, here we go. It dries barley, canola, corn, oats, sorghum, soybean, sunflower seed, and wheat. And what I was doing was looking at that there. That's why I saw the straw and all. And but it dries about all the crops that you would harvest with a combine. Yeah, I mean, yep. So, but I'm not going to dry the corn, but I dried the wheat, and what I got out of the wheat, out of the 59,000 that I had separated out of that separator over there, slaughtered out of the separator, was a total of 52,256 liters. Now, and I did the math on that, a difference of 6,821 liters. So it even after it separated down to 59,000 when I had originally near 200,000, then out of that 59,000 when it dried, it took another 6,000, almost 7,000, well, a little over 6,000 liters of moisture and whatever else shouldn't have been in there, dried it out, which gives me 59,107 of wheat to sell. what I would call grade A. Well, no, it wasn't grade A because there was no fertilizer on that field. So that's where we at. Now, here's the combine that I'm going to use for the time being, and this is one of two pretty massive modded combines. This is the smaller one. This is the TARDIS, as you see right there, and it's got 400 horsepower, and it holds 200,000 liters. This is the head that goes with it, the fast head. Now, over here, this is the 75, the Lizard C75, and it says on it top kick. I just like the way that is. Now, here's something very interesting. Let me go where the tractors is at. All right, this is a pickup head bed that you can put on it. And here's the weird thing. I mean, the neat thing, I should say. See, let me get out. Get under here. See under there that I call that where it's hooked up there. Some people call that a fifth wheel. I call that a tractor trailer hitch. Same kind of hitch. Anyway, you can leave that on. It goes as when you go to buy this truck. That's the fuel tank right there, by the way. That box with that lock on it. Why they put a lock on a fuel tank? No, that's the fuel tank there. That's a toolbox. My bad. I'll get it right in a minute. Y'all hang with me. I'll get it straightened out. Anyway, but that thing holds 60,000. Let me show you what that is in the shop here. It's a mod. We had this on 19, and if we had it on 22, I never saw it. I used it on 19 and really loved it. It tells you when it's full with lights and when it's empty with lights, and it's nice. But see, that's you, and you up at the very top you go like that's the semi, and there it is. And it's got an org arm on it. Essentially, that's what it is. It's an org arm, but and I'm gonna load that corn into that, and I don't know that we may get more than 60,000 liters out of this field, but I don't know that. But let's drop the head down now, and all right, two headlands. Yeah, it's we may get 60,000, but this here combine will hold it all, because it holds 200,000. But either way, whatever we get out of this field, I'm going to grind into pig food. Because let me show you. Hold a minute, save it. Let me show you why I'm going to grind it into pig food. Because they need some. See, it's getting real low. I done about 150,000 liters of pig food. The cows are all right, they have grazing, but the pigs don't. See, they're going to need that pig food. We're doing 15 miles an hour. That's plenty fast enough with a 9-meter head collecting the corn. Yeah, I know that steering wheel says Massey, but that's all right too, because there was no fertilizer on this corn. Because this modded combine, I'll show it to you in a minute. Let me show it to you. Where is? It's the TARDIS. It's that right there. It's based off the in-game Massey. And so that's why, but I got case red colors on it and everything. I'll probably, when I harvest this corn, if I have more than that trailer will hold, I'm gonna put it in that multi-fruit silo so I can it'll be closer to where I want it, because I'm gonna set that grinder up, that pig grinder up, right there where you feed them at, and let it just grind and pour right into the pig pen until it fills it up. My guess is that pig pen holds about 500,000 or 600,000, might hold 1,000,000, I don't know. Alright, let's gonna get 10,000 liters off this first headland. Whew. I know it's gonna be more than 60,000 liters now. And there's no fertilizer on this corn, but it's still cutting heavy, because corn's a high yield crop anyway. Yeah, I'm at 11,000 right now. If I get to 60,000 on this combine, I'll go ahead and fill that trailer up and take it over there and unload it. Hmm, 15,000. We might be at the 20,000 mark, 20,000 liter mark when we get back around. It probably will. Missed some right there. 17,000 now. $18. Yeah, it's gonna be over 20 till we get back around there where we started. Yeah, we're at 20 now. I think what I'm gonna do when I get down here, because that'll be the last of the head, and I'm gonna go down on the other end of them longer roads and work my way this way. I'll show you. Go around here and start at the very back, on the back side of them long roads, and go across. Get them. Well, they all about the same length, I guess. Them back there seem longer than these over here, though. So 21,639 off the headland. That's a lot. That is a lot of corn that's off of two headlands there. Yeah, there's not another headland. I wanted to make sure. That's why I pulled back on the field there. Get down here in this corner and go down and back and start working back toward the farmyard. And away we go. Look at how that corn's pouring in there. Oh, well, that's a bunch of malarkey, ain't it? Well, It wants you to start back here. Almost 30,000 in there right now. Whew. Oh well, I want to go this way. We at 33,000 right now. All right. All right. You see how much is in the combine already? 38,000 right here. It's probably going to be more than 60,000. It probably might be over 100,000 until I get through anyway. But until next time, this is Farmer Legacy saying.